This is a lesson on flipped learning and what it means to you. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to explain what flipped learning is, list the benefits of a flipped learning model, and list your student responsibilities while watching a flipped lesson. Your keywords to help you follow along are flipped teaching/flipped learning, including lecture and homework, student benefits, including the 24/7 teacher, your pause rewind button, and keeping up when absent, and your student responsibilities to watch and listen carefully, take notes, and write down questions, as well as self-advocate. So getting started, what is flipped learning? Flipped learning is basically the student portion of a flipped teaching model. Since you don't know what flipped teaching is yet, this isn't helping you very much. So let's take a step backwards and see what flipped teaching is all about. Basically, this model of teaching involves two elements of instruction: your direct instruction, otherwise known as lecture, and your independent practice, which you usually know as homework. It also addresses where these two elements occur. Traditionally, lecture is seen in a classroom, and homework, as the name implies, goes home. But in a flipped model, independent practice moves into the classroom, and direct instruction goes home as homework. So basically what's happening in a flipped teaching model is your homework becomes watching a lecture video like the one you're watching right now, and your independent practice happens in the classroom. This has several benefits for students. First off, it leads to less homework in the class that you're flipping. Usually independent practice takes half an hour or more when you have to do it all on your own. That doesn't even account for not understanding what you're supposed to be doing and trying to figure that out. So you do end up with less homework, since flipped videos are usually between the 10 and 15-minute mark. You also gain a 24/7 teacher. All of your flipped videos are archived, so you can watch them whenever you need to. You can always go back and look at a lesson. Also, the lecture has come home with you, and the lecture is done by your teacher. Then you come to class, and your teacher is there while you're trying to apply the skills you learned about. Hence, a 24/7 teacher. You also get a pause and rewind button. No more will you have to scramble madly to take your notes, hoping you can keep up with the teacher or begging the teacher to go back and slow down. Now that power is in your control. If the lecture is moving too fast, simply pause the video, rewind if necessary, and go again, or pause to jot your notes down. Also, if you don't quite understand something the first time, you can rewind and look at it again. This is a super learner power that you should really embrace while you are doing your flipped lessons. Finally, you also have the benefit of keeping up when absent. Normally, if you're gone and you miss a lecture, you have to get the notes from someone else. It's never quite the same as being in the class yourself, and you feel a little bit behind while you're trying to get caught up on everything. Now, you will not miss a lecture because it will be archived on your Google Classroom, and you will be able to view it while you are gone or as soon as possible. You are the one still taking notes and sitting through that lecture. This model does involve a few things that you have to do to make it successful. First and foremost, you need to watch and listen to videos carefully. This isn't like watching YouTube for a game tutorial. It is an active learning process. So you need to turn off all distractions. That means your cell phone. That means any other application you've got going on in the background. Music, friends. Sit by yourself somewhere, put your headphones in, turn your volume on, and pay attention to the video. This includes taking notes. Very soon we'll have a lesson on how I want you to take notes for this class, but taking notes is part of actively paying attention. Also, you should be writing down questions. This does not change the fact that sometimes you won't understand what you're being told. So you need to write down questions so that you can ask them later when you're in class with the teacher. And you also need to self-advocate. If something isn't working for you, you have a technology error, you aren't understanding what you need to understand, etc., you need to come in and see me so that we can work out something so that you get the maximum benefit. Which takes us right back to what is flipped learning. And now the answer that this is the student portion of a flipped teaching model should make much more sense.